topic is three kinds of faith based on the teachings of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. This text 17.01. Arjuna said, "O Krishna, what is the situation of one who does not follow the principles of scriptures but worships according to his own imagination? Is he in goodness, in passion, or in ignorance?" Anyone can help me with the name of the chapter? The divisions of faith. So this chapter predominantly talks about faith. And when we're talking about three kinds of faith, faith in the mode of goodness, faith in the mode of passion, faith in the mode of ignorance. So in this chapter, we'll be hearing Krishna extensively talking about the influence of modes. We will get to understand foods in the mode of goodness, food in the mode of passion, food in the mode of ignorance, sacrifice in the mode of goodness, in the mode of passion, in the mode of ignorance, faith in the matter of goodness. So just to refresh our understanding, we all are getting influenced by the modes of material nature, and they are predominantly how many in number? Three. So just like in one of the earlier sessions we talked about that how in printing industry using 4 colors we can create unlimited number of shades, and I remember we talked about the dots CMYK. So different permutation and combination of influence of modes influencing a person results in different natures, different behaviors. If a person is predominantly influenced by Rajoguna, his nature will be one type, his activities will be one type, his choice of food will be one type, his faith will be of one type. If a person is predominantly influenced by Sattva-guna, accordingly his choice of food, his taste, his nature, his inclinations, the kind of worship he does will be different. And Krishna says in the Gita that we helplessly act under the influence of the modes of nature. And there is some kind of a competition between these modes. Sometimes mode of Sattva Guna, which is goodness, overpowers the other two. We are predominantly under the influence of Sattva Guna. Anyone can help me? What time of the day generally Sattva Guna is predominant? Morning time. If you also notice, if you've had a good sleep, when you wake up in the morning, you're fresh, you're more calm, you're more relaxed. Daytime, post-noon, it's Rajoguna, which is predominant, and night time it is Tamoguna. That's why you see activities also. Morning time, the temples open. You will have all the temples morning 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, the Mangala Arti, Darshan Arti and all that. You will hardly find temple having artis at 10:30 in the night. You will hardly find any pubs, bars operational at 6 a.m. in the morning, opening. You will hardly find, as I said, pubs, bar invariably open or other function late in the evenings or night. So the divisions of faith based on the influence of modes of material nature. Krishna also in the Gita says, Prakriti Kriyamani. Prakriti means this material nature which has 3 modes. Prakriti Kriyamanani, according to the modes, Gunai Karmani Sarvasha. These gunas are the resultant cause of all the actions we perform. They are the ones who are goading us or pushing us to act in a particular way. Gunai karmani sarvasha. Karmani means actions, sarvasha means all. Prakriti karma, gunai karmani sarvasha, ahankara vimudatma, kartaham iti mat. Out of ahankara, false ego, we think we are the doers. So Vedic civilization, the Vedic culture is all about cultivating higher modes. So if a person is in tamoguna predominantly, progress for him, advancement for him is where the percentage of influence of tamoguna reduces and the percentage of other gunas increase. He is well situated if he is predominantly under the influence of sattva-guna. Is sattva-guna the highest? How many of us say sattva-guna is the highest? It's the best mode to be situated in. Sattva-guna is the highest? How many of us sattva-guna is not the highest? Others, sattva-guna? How many of us say undecided? Don't know. So if you mix all these hands, it's not totaling to all the numbers sitting here. So sattva-guna is not the highest. It is better than rajoguna. Rajoguna is better than tamoguna, but sattva-guna is not the highest. There is sattva-guna is mode of goodness. It's a springboard, it's a stepping stone to enter into Shuddha Sattva, which is pure goodness, which is transcendence, which is genuine spirituality. Even Sattva-guna is a material mode. We are in material consciousness. Still that we may be in ignorance, but sattvic ignorance. So we'll go further in this. Who are asuras and who are the devas? We have heard in our different serials. We have read about asuras, demons. We've also heard about devas. There was fight between asuras, devas, and danavas. Who is an asura? Who is a danava? Who is a deva? Generally, we have an understanding. Asura means demon, means black-faced, horns. He's an asura, demon. Typically, when we have movies also, they have very ferocious looking teeth coming out. They are called asuras. And devatas means, we have people like Indra and all that, well dressed, apparently cultured. So who is asura according to Vedic understanding? Yes. Person in the mode of passion is asura. Ignorance is asura. Yes. The understanding, one who does not follow the rules and regulations or the injunctions or the regulations mentioned in the scriptures is asura. He is acting whimsically according to his own concocted idea of what is good, what is bad. I have given this example. A person in the US, because he is born in that culture, very ethically, very morally, very nicely he'll be eating beef with no guilt feeling whatsoever. Because according to his understanding, it is perfectly fine. So we have ourselves in different cultures, in different societies, in different religions defined what is good, what is bad. We have our definitions. So a person who acts whimsically without following the guidelines, the rules and regulations laid down by scriptures. Now, in scriptures also, scriptures, they are predominantly meant for people who are in ignorance. They are scriptures predominantly meant for people who are in passion. All of you agree with what I'm saying? Because scriptures means, what are they doing? They are taking us closer to God. Somebody who is in Rajoguna, they also have to be addressed. They also have to be taken closer to God. So the instructions Puranas, there are 18 Puranas. There are Sattvic Puranas, there are Rajasic Puranas, there are Tamasic Puranas. Just like in a school you have some books which are addressing students in primary education who are in first class, second class, third class. Because the objective of that books is how to take that student who is at that level of understanding to the next one. So they are Rajasic Puranas, they are Sattvic Puranas and the Tamasic Puranas. They are people who are predominantly in Tamoguna. You cannot give higher instructions to them. So Asuras means they act whimsically. They don't believe in scriptures. Now there could be scriptures which are not talking about the highest thing. There are scriptures which may even advocate eating flesh. But it is meant for certain section of people. Those who are following that are better than who are acting whimsically. And who are the Devas? Devas are the ones who are following. Who are following the rules. Now the rules may not be the highest, but they are following the rules laid down by the respective scriptures. Now what about those who are following some rules but may not be according to scriptures? They have their own understanding of what is right, what is wrong. A lot of people tell me that, Swamiji, I don't visit temples, I don't worship any god, but I don't hurt anyone, I don't harm anyone. I'm a good person, I'm a good human being. Right? Have you come across such people? What is the use of going to the temple? And going to the temple and doing all nonsense after you come back. You cheat people, then do all kinds of unethical things. Better to be a gentleman and need not be God conscious. So Arjuna is asking Krishna, what about those people? Okay, there are people who are worshipping with faith, following the scriptures. What about the people who are following some rules but may not be as per the scriptural injunction? They have their own understanding of what is right, what is wrong. Like a lot of people, I'm sure when we talk about, chant the names, worship the God, they say, no, I don't believe in all. I'm a karma yogi. For me, work is worship. Have you heard this statement? Karma yogi. They have their own understanding of what is karma yogi. For them, do any work, morning to night, work hard, I am a karma yogi. That's not karma yogi. They have their own understanding of what is karma yoga. I am a karma yogi. I don't have to go to the temple. And they follow some sort of God, their own understanding of God. Just yesterday it was in news. Anyone knows about one Bhagwan? Kalki Bhagwan. So, quite popular for quite some time. And in his ashram yesterday there was an IIT raid. They've confiscated 500 crores of unaccounted money, cash. 500 crores. Now imagine how many followers, how many people would have given those contributions. What about those people who have worshipped with faith? Kalki Bhagwan. Arjuna is asking, what about those people? They also had faith, yes or no? With good intentions they went. They worshipped, they prostrated, they surrendered, they gave their hard-earned money, contributed, sacrificed. They also did some austerities recommended by Kalki Bhagwan. What about them? So this is the article yesterday, if you Google. Taxmen raid spiritual guru Kalki Bhagwan over charges of tax evasion. IT raid continues on Kalki Bhagwan ashram in Andhra Pradesh. So Arjuna is asking this. Okay, one is divisions of faith based on the modes. There are different people with different faiths. What about people who are having some faith but may not be as per scriptural injunctions? What about them? What about the people who are worshipping some concocted God with faith but may not be mentioned in scriptures? The Supreme Lord said, according to modes of nature acquired by embodied souls, one's faith can be of three kinds: goodness, passion, or ignorance. Now hear about these. Actually, why people are getting cheated? Because we are not following authorized scriptures. Here you see Krishna, Shri Bhagavan Vacha is explaining, hear from me, what is faith in goodness? What is faith in ignorance? What is faith in passion? Hear about it. Krishna is saying now. Arjuna is asking the question and Krishna is replying, not only for Arjuna, but for all of us. So that we don't cultivate a faith which is faith in ignorance. We don't get cheated royally. We cultivate the right kind of faith. So Krishna here is saying, hear about this. You hear. I am telling you now. And the reason why people get cheated is because there is no systematic learning about all these things in our society. Everyone has a copy of Gita in the home, but where is the time or inclination or desire to read it and understand it? And hence, we have our own idea, own faith, own understanding of God, own understanding of God-man, and based on the modes influencing us, we get cheated. The association of living entity with the modes of material nature. When we come in this material world, Ichha, Dvesha, Samuthena, with Ichha, desires, Dvesha, envy of the Lord, we come in this material world, and when we come in this material world, we come under the influence of modes. Now, what is the cause of why have we come in this world? What is material existence? Can anyone tell me? Today we'll discuss some fundamentals. What is material existence? How many of us are in material existence? Preeti? What is material existence? What is material existence?
I think material existence is, really working on the satisfaction of our senses, A, and not really giving time for our
Spiritual.
growth.
That is material existence.
Yeah, because we are so caught up in the grind, we think this is our world, and I think even if you have the understanding, but you are so caught up that you're not really making a conscious effort to.
So you're saying that basically material existence means you're caught up in material activities.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah.
In the grind of material existence, material world, doing material activities. That's what material existence. Anybody else? What is material existence? Yes, Sunil.
According to the scriptures, we are in, because of our desire to enjoy independently of the Lord, we have fallen into this world.
What is material world?
Which is, we act under the influence of the three modes of material nature, and it is an impermanent world, whereas the spiritual world is permanent.
Okay. Very good answer. Yes, Mohan. We fall in the birth and death cycle. Okay, good. Good answer. Yes, Rashid. Okay, material existence means, this material world means samsara sagara, ocean of material existence, means we are under the influence of stringent laws of material nature and subjected to janma, mrityu, jara, vyadhi. Material existence is characterized by stringent control of material laws acting on us, material modes acting on us, and subsequently suffering. Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi.
Completion of the Nashwar was completion of the Nashwar seed.
वाली नहीं है, उसको जोड़ना.
Yeah.
Identifying with the body.
Yeah. So material existence begins when we take this material body. So we have taken this material body. This is a material body. This is not a spiritual body, and we are in the material world, and we are subjected to birth, death, old age, disease. Punarapi janma, punarapi marana. We don't want death, but death is forced upon us. We don't want old age, but old age is forced upon us. We don't want disease, disease is forced upon us. And much against our wish, like none of us chose, we'll be forced to take birth as per the laws of nature based on our activities. In some circumstances, we cannot choose. Did we choose our parents? Did we choose our country? Did we choose the intelligence with which we'll take birth? Our facial complexion? No. Our parents? No. Our nationality? No. Our gender? No. Based on karmic reactions, we were forced. Somebody was forced to take birth in slum, somebody was forced to take birth in a palace. Now, apparently it may look that person who took birth in palace is very blessed, very fortunate. Still, he is subjected to Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi. I was today morning talking to someone. Just visualize, now here we have Amitabh Bachchan. The other day I went, there was Swachh Bharat campaign, Akshaya Patra also featured him. So I had also gone there. There was a shooting happening in Yash Raj Studios. So he was there, we happened to meet him. And very, wonderful personality. There's a charm, there's an aura. He was there on the stage. And he is 77 years. Now visualize 20 years from now. If you were to attend a program in which Amitabh Bachchan, how will he be coming inside the program? Can anyone visualize? How will he be coming? He'll either be in a wheelchair or there'll be two persons attending to him. And such an eminent person, superstar, not absolved of Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi. Just 2 days back, he was in Lilavati hospital. Yes, sir? Liver problem. No, he was. Huh?
He was for a
Checkup, and some people say he was admitted, some people, but something was there. Some Vyadhi was there. Let's not get into some details. All I'm saying is he's not absolved of Vyadhi. That's all I'm saying. Whether he was admitted, whether it's a liver problem or kidney problem. So, this is material existence. We have a material body which is kleshada. Kleshada means this body will give us misery. Why it will give us misery? Because it is subjected to material laws. Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi. See, all of us are looking for permanent happiness. Am I right? Yes or no? We're looking for stability. We're looking for peace. We're looking for happiness. It's missing. Why? Because you have good relationships, it will not last. You can wish, you can try, you can endeavor. It will not last. You have good health, you can endeavor, you can wish, you can desire, you can put efforts, you can go to gym, but it will not last. Now somebody may say this is pessimism. It's not pessimism, it is opening our eyes to the harsh reality, not putting it under the carpet. Facing the reality and doing something about it. So Vedic culture does not close eyes, we don't close our eyes to the reality. We face the reality, understand the reality, and do something about that to handle that reality. So, what is the cause of, why have we come in this material world with the material body and subjected to Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi. Why? Why have, it's in one kind of, some kind of a punishment, if you would say. It depends on how you look at it. In one kind of it, what is punishment? Now Chidambaramji, he doesn't want to be in the jail, imprisoned, but he is. He doesn't want to be subjected to, you have to eat this food. He's requesting home food, he's requesting, at least I should have an AC. But he's subjected to certain conditions. Why living entity who is Amsha of the Lord is in material existence? Why? In this material world, where we have to encounter death, our near and dear ones, old age. Why? Why have we put in this material world? So, the root cause is Ichha. Ichha is material desire. And there are many philosophers who says the root cause of our misery is desires. And the solution to all miseries is to annihilate or kill all desires. Right? Good solution? Can we kill all desires? Should we kill all desires? How many of us say yes? To kill all material desires so that we can have Shanti is also a desire. To be desireless is also a desire. To enjoy peace, tranquility, happiness is also a desire. So the root cause of material existence, the reason why we have a material body is material desires. And it is said that so long as we have a tinge means an iota, a small portion of material desire, our material existence will continue. We will keep getting different material bodies for fulfillment of those material desires. And the Lord is so kind, that Lord has made so many varieties of species, varieties of bodies, and the Lord awards, Karmana Daiva Netrena, Lord awards a material body which is apt, which is very well suited for fulfillment of a particular desire. Suppose a living entity has a desire that I want to eat flesh. He is very fond of eating flesh. He likes. There are people who would like to have flesh or other non-veg in breakfast, lunch, dinner. I met a gentleman in the US. His all meals is having some non-veg item. Otherwise he says there is no fulfillment. Ghas patta khage. They call this vegetarian diet as ghas patta. So this human body may not be apt for that kind of a diet, but if the desire is there to eat that kind of food, very predominant, then the Lord will give a body of a carnivore. The living entity has a desire. There are a lot of people who like, surfing and playing water games and scuba diving and, this thing with oxygen cylinders, jaake machli ki tarah, Okay, take a body which is very appropriate for being underwater. That's how we have so many species of life. So long as we have a tinge of material desire, our material existence will continue and we'll keep getting those material bodies for fulfilling those material desires. So what should we be doing? What is progressive life? In what can we do in human form of life? If we have to, how many of us want to continue material existence? बहुत मजा आ रहा है. How many of us want? Please raise your hands. थोड़ा सा मजा होना चाहिए. थोड़ा सा material existence. By the way, just when I said why this mind sometimes says, it cannot be black and white, Because हमारे को लगता है कि I want family, I want all this rasas, I want all this relationships, I want this enjoyment. Why do you say I don't want material existence? We think that our real existence is devoid of all these things. Spiritual existence has all the things what we want, but in a pure form. It has relationships, it has love, it has feelings, it has emotions, it has transactions. Everything what we want, but in a pure form. And that is what the Lord demonstrated when He came to Vrindavan 5,000 years back. He demonstrated there's a relationship between father and son. There's a relationship between friends as Sakhya. There's a relationship of Dasya, somebody serving. So spiritual existence is not devoid of rasas, relationships, varieties. So the goal is not to kill desires. The goal is not to become desireless. The goal is to purify our desires. The goal is to cultivate spiritual desires. Desire to hear about the Lord is also a desire. Desire to chant the names of the Lord is also a desire. Desire to get up in the morning, Brahma Muhurta time and engage is also a desire. Desire to purify our existence is also a desire. Desire to control our senses is also a desire. So the goal is not to annihilate the desires, the goal is to purify the desires. So now, so long as we have material desires, different species of life, plants, birds, aquatics, reptiles, this will go on life after life. And in each life, we'll have family, we'll have relations, we will indulge in different things, invest time, energy, all that, and then eventually it will all break, it will be frustrating, all what we have accumulated we leave behind, we take another body, much against our wish, and goes on and on. So the root cause, as I mentioned, is Ichha, desires. Ichha, and second thing is Dvesha. Dvesha means envy. Why Lord is the center? Why Lord is only being glorified? Why Lord is the only enjoyer? Why not me? Why not I be the center of attraction? Why not people glorify me? Why not I become famous? Why only Lord is famous? That's why everyone is running after fame, respect, adoration, attraction. We want to be the center of attraction. We want to be praised. We want appreciation. Greed, more.
Swamiji, but is it really envy with the Lord, or is it an independent feeling to want all these things? It could be you could want all these things,
But not out of enviousness of the Lord.
yeah.
What is Lord? Lord's position is, now this very nice question you've asked. What is the constitutional position? What is the original arrangement? Why are we created? Why are we designed?
Yeah.
Just like why is the Lord has designed this body which has hands, which has legs, which has eyes, which has all the different limbs. Why? It is not some reckless design. Why it is designed? Why the hand is designed with 5 fingers? Why the leg is designed which has thighs, which has elbows, which have ankles? Why it is designed like that? It has a certain function to play. There are a group of scientists who are believers in God. They have come up with theory called the intelligent design. They may not be fully so-called scripturally aligned, but seeing the intelligent creation and the intelligent design behind this creation, they say that yes, there is an intelligent creator. Who that is, don't ask. It is beyond religion. There is an intelligent design. This human body is so complex. Arteries, veins, the network, the way the heart is pumping the blood, the impure blood is coming in, it's getting purified, the livers, the kidneys, It's so intricate. On liver, there could be some 100 books written on liver. Am I right? Thick books. You could be doing super specialization on eyes, on ENT. Because it's so complex. So coming back to other things, original design is that, what is the original design? The original design is, the Lord is the Lord. He is the center. And Eko Bahusham, we have been designed to serve the Lord, to give pleasure to the Lord. Just like now somebody says, why? If we question why, that is envy. Why? Why it is like that? So what is the symptom of envy? When a scriptural thing is given and we object to it, it shows a sign of envy. Matsara. Krishna is telling Arjuna, I will speak this confidential knowledge to you because you are non-envious of me. That's why after hearing Avashya, I will follow whatever you have said. A sign of envy is that we are not willing to accept the instructions of the Lord. We raise objections. Why? Kyun? Aisa kyun? Why we have to surrender? Okay, so coming back, so that's the original design. Just like this limb, this hand is not designed to independently enjoy food. It is not designed. It is designed to pick the food, put in the mouth, the stomach digests it, and whatever nourishment it wants or desires or it wants to have, he will get it. That's the design. Now the hand is well situated if it plays that role aptly. It does not make its independent plan of seeking out taste from the rasgulla. So, in the spiritual world, the Lord is the center and we are designed to give pleasure to. Now, it is not a very selfish design where Lord is being glorified and we are all suffering like a slave. Like a slave, you serve the master and you don't get anything. So the relationship between the Lord and just like this finger and hand, you see, it's a very nice relationship. It serves the whole and it gets its quota of nourishment. It is happy, it is blissful. It gets oxygen, it gets supply of this thing, the body takes care of it. So likewise, the living entity is designed to give pleasure to the Lord, and the relationship such that the Lord reciprocates that by giving pleasure to the living entity. Now, when we serve the Lord, this is given even in the Gita. Arjuna chose Krishna. He didn't want his army. In reciprocation, the Lord agreed to serve his devotees, even became a menial servant as a chariot driver. Is that clear? So the original design is, we serve the Lord, we give pleasure to the Lord, and we get our pleasure. The Lord in turn reciprocates that action of ours and gives our whatever we require for our happiness, our enjoyment, our pleasure. So in the original sense, the Lord is the center. Everyone is glorifying the Lord. All our actions are motivated as what will please the Lord. And what is Ichha and Dvesha? Dvesha means, now one may not very conscious, one may still be doing agarbatti and worshipping the Lord, but the desire is to be the center. Desire is to be glorified. Desire is to be respected, which is the position of Lord. In that sense, it is enviousness. You understood what I'm saying? We are trying to be the Lord. Although we are not saying, I don't believe in God, I don't worship God. You are maybe worshiping God also. But the desire is to be glorified. Desire is to be an enjoyer. The desire is to be center of attraction. Why this fashion industry is there? I like to be looked good. I should be attractive. People should get attracted to me. तुम बोलो तुम मुझसे प्यार करती हो. Yes, whole movie is made on तुम मुझसे प्यार करो. कृष्णा को भूल जाओ, मुझसे प्यार करो. You are trying to be the all this relationship problems is this. You want to be the center. You want to be loved. You want to be glorified. Movies are made, movies after movies, drama after drama, but all about this. Bahunam janmanam ante jnanvan mam prapadyante. After many, many lives of all this struggle in material, jnanvan, a person in knowledge will come to me. Vasudevam sarvamiti sam atma durlabha. That Atma who has come to that understanding, that Krishna, you are the Bhokta, you are the enjoyer. That Atma is very rare. So the root cause of material is Ichha, Dvesha. So genuine spirituality is to, what is genuine spirituality is to purify this Ichha, which is the root cause of material existence. To get rid of this Dvesha. Instead of dvesha, being envious of the Lord, we develop love of God, servitude, attitude of God. That is spirituality. And for that, there are rules and regulations to guide our behavior. Some do's and don'ts. So what is the goal? The goal is not to become shunya. Desire should not get annihilated. Anya abhilashita shunya. What is anya? Others. Material desires. Anya abhilashita shunya. No material desire is the goal, is an ideal scenario. This is where we have to lead. That situation, Anya abhilashita shunya, will seize our material existence.
Unscriptural activities.
Yeah. So there could be somebody following the scriptures but very materially motivated. That's why we see in this world there are many religious people, but the motive behind their religious practices is self-enjoyment, sense gratification with the blessings of Lord. That is not genuine spirituality. 99.9% people who are religious are kama bhaktas. What is kama bhakta? It is being, that bhakti, so-called bhakti is being done to fulfillment their kama. That kind of bhakti or that kind of religious practice will not elevate us.
Swamiji, doesn't that also strengthen your faith?
It doesn't strengthen your faith, but it is a stepping stone towards your journey in this ultimate end. It's a step, it's a baby step. That's why these injunctions are there. It is said that, okay, you want prosperity, worship Lakshmi. At least you are learning that you have to worship someone, although you are not being given the highest thing to worship. Because if you tell you do selfless worship to please the Lord with no ulterior motive, with no selfish desire, we are not interested. Kut ka kaam bhara hua hai. Okay, you want Lakshmi, prosperity. No, you don't want Narayana. No, okay, worship Lakshmi. But at least it's a stepping stone because you have learned that you have to worship someone. You are not all in all. There are higher personalities. Bahunam janmanam ante. After many, many lives, you will understand the highest personality.
Prabhuji, isn't that story to indicate that everybody has devic qualities and asuric qualities?
Yes.
So the asuric qualities can be supplemented.
So, when we say asuras and devas, each one of us, including me, although I may be in this dress, apparently quite learned and talking about Gita, we have asuric qualities. Each one of us, percentage may vary. We have qualities of devas, we have qualities of danavas. Divine and demonic qualities. All of us have lust, anger, greed, pride, envy, jealousy. All of us have. Devas also. Devas also. What is devas? You see, what are devatas? A lot of people worship different devis and devatas. Devatas also are living entities in material existence. But they are just like we all are citizens of India, but some citizen of India is a chief minister. Some citizen of India is a prime minister. But they all are citizens of India. So some living entity who has a lot of pious credits, may not necessarily be pure devotion, is elevated to the post of being a devata. Indra, Chandra, Vayu. So why devata worship? Kamais tir hite jnana prapadyante anya devata. When we have a lot of material desires, we are attracted to worship of different devatas for fulfillment of our material desires. You want learning? Worship Saraswati. You want Lakshmi? You want prosperity? Worship Lakshmi. Now Diwali is there. People will be invariably doing Lakshmi Puja very diligently, very sincerely, so that Lakshmi blesses us.
When we say that desire is the root cause of being material existence, how do we explain trees?
How do we explain?
Trees.
Trees.
Trees or very, very low consciousness existence in the material world.
Correct.
How can there be desires in that?
How can there be desires?
Could be in spiritual world.
Okay. So the desire is there in all the living entities, but there can be situation in some species, your consciousness is very subdued. You don't have free will. Free will is there, but it is very subdued. Like example, tree also is a living entity having a material body, but it does not have a free will to move. It also has consciousness, it also has feelings, it also feels pain, like you and me. It also has, in all other living entities, because that free will is not highly developed, so they don't move up or down based on their desires. They move based on the laws of nature. A tree will follow us, the next life of a tree will follow a set pattern of plants, birds, aquatics, reptiles, higher form, higher form, higher form, higher form, higher form, and after many, many lifetimes, human form. In human form, you can either go down or you can go up, because you have a developed choice to desire, free will. Trees don't have a desire like that. नहीं कल से मैं सुबह जल्दी उठूंगा.
But then why those souls are here? My thinking is that tree also has a soul. If tree had no desire, then having the
Tree has a desire. Based on our desires, the living entity is made to go through different species to fulfillment of those desires.
Even human beings can be free.
For example, Prabhupada says, in today's world, nudism is becoming very popular. You know, so people want to and it's becoming popular. In the West, there are beaches where people would like to be naked. So it says, next life you'll get a desire, your body of a tree. Be naked. Stand naked. You don't have to wear clothes. Fulfillment of desires. So the tree got a body of a tree based on the desire to be without clothes. Okay, fulfillment of desire. Is that clear, Anujji? That soul had a desire.
yeah.
I don't want clothes. I want to be free. Okay, have freedom. So different species are that soul, some latent desire is being fulfilled in different species. And in all other species, because free will is not this thing, it is progressively moving up. Plants, birds, aquatic reptiles, all that. And after many, many lives, human being. Human being means we have got developed intelligence, developed free will, we can make choices. And because we can make choices, human life is compared to like a junction. You can either go up or you can go down. And the greatest defeat, we can say, in human form of life, after having got this human form of life, which we could have taken that opportunity to elevate our consciousness and get freed from material existence, we get glide back again in animal species. That is the biggest defeat of human form. And unfortunately, we see the reckless behavior what we see around, people eating all kinds of nasty food and all that. We are preparing for a ghastly future. See how people are so completely oblivious of these laws operating. Are you very sure that what we are eating is not going to have karmic consequences? Are we very sure? Not sure. Are we very sure what are the laws governing basis which somebody gets a good body, somebody gets a bad body, somebody gets a lot of misery, somebody, are you completely aware? No, not aware.
It's, you said human form of life is after many births. So if somebody, some human form is in the predominantly the mode of ignorance, somebody takes birth, then how he can elevate to goodness and association?
So, good question. If a person, we said human form is after many, many lifetimes, but what if a person is predominantly in mode of ignorance? What is the hope for him? How will he elevate? Or for that matter, a person may be born in Kali Yuga, which is very degraded age as far as spiritual advancement is concerned. So just like, when companies go to tier 3 cities, knowing that purchasing power of people is less, what do companies do? They reduce the price or give discounts. So in Kali Yuga, and also for degraded souls, the Lord is very, very kind, very, very magnanimous and gives deep discounts. So in Kali Yuga, the deep discount is, there is a verse in the Srimad Bhagavatam in the 11th canto where it gives a description of Kali Yuga. Kaler dosha nidhe rajan. Shukadev Goswami is telling to Parikshit Maharaj that Kali Yuga is an ocean of faults. It is an ideal condition to enhance our material existence. Yes or no? So, Kaler dosha nidhe rajan astireko mahan. But there is one good quality in Kali Yuga. You don't have to be a scholar, you don't have to be a pandit, you don't have to be a jnani, you don't have to be a tapasvi. Kirtana deva krishnasya, just by chanting the names of it. Mukta sangha param rajet. One can get freed of all these contaminations. Mukta sangha param rajet. And he can achieve higher states of existence. It's a discounted process. You don't have to do big tapasya. Just chant the names of Lord. Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Eva Kevalam, Kalau Nasteva, 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 Gatir Anyatha. Gatir means solution. Yeah, somebody had a question there. Yeah.
My question was that Krishna says that Krishna wants us to turn back from these things, that he's the supreme and desire is the main cause that we have been possessed.
Material desires.
Material desire is the main cause that we have been possessed by Krishna. So why has Krishna made this material world so many species of life to fulfill our desires? At one hand he says that come back to me and at other.
Because we have the desire. He respects our free will. He doesn't want to force us against our choice. If your mother brings you to this class by force, week after week, will you like it? Can your mother bring by force? Yes or no? Can bring potentially, but after 3 sessions, 4 sessions, you will become very angry, rebellious. Because you're not coming by your choice. You're forced to come. So Krishna also does not want to force us to obey him. Krishna does not want to force us to serve him. So you want to be the Lord, you want to be the center, you want to be the enjoyer, all the best. This world is created. And we all are here trying our best, making all attempts to, to be like spiritual world. Sat, Chit, Ananda. But we are getting frustrated. So, all the regulations which are there in our scriptures, we're talking about suras and devatas and dharmas, all the regulations, even the so-called regulations like you can eat meat, all the regulations like marriage is basically to regulate our sinful desires or material desires. Okay, a person wants to have lusty desires. Okay, regulate. Instead of indiscriminately mixing with many women, okay, have a regulation of marriage. You fulfill the desires within a certain boundary. You want to eat meat indiscriminately? No. On Amavasya day, offer to goddess Kali and eat that meat. Even the so-called injunctions which is meant to give us, okay, you enjoy. The objective is to regulate. Because indiscriminate enjoyment, unrestricted desire is the root cause of our material existence. So we cannot abruptly stop. We cannot, if suppose somebody says give up, you cannot give up. If today I say, if I make an injunction, if you all don't get up at 4 o'clock, आप लोग नीच जाति के हो, गिरे हुए हो, उठ जाओ कल सुबह 4 बजे, उठ जाएंगे आप लोग? नहीं. किसी को आदत पड़ी हुई 8 बजे उठने की, किसी को आदत पड़ी हुई 7 बजे उठने की. If I say, unless you chant 16 rounds, all of you, please do not attend the class. Next class में कोई होएगा नहीं. So you have to say, हाँ, chanting कीजिए, 1 round कीजिए ना, अच्छा है, 1 round कीजिए. कितने बजे उठते हैं? 7 बजे उठते हैं, 6:30 बजे उठिए ना, अच्छा रहेगा. Mahabharata says it is not just who eats meat is a meat eater. One who cooks the meat, one who eats, one who serves, one who transports, one who cooks, all comes under the. That's why it is called, when Satyam case happened, there were people who actually did the fraud and there were somebody who were abettors, who abetted the crime. They were also put behind bars. The chartered accountants. They turned a blind eye. So somebody may say, I go to party but I don't cook in the home. मैं नहीं मारता, वो मरा हुआ होता है वहां पे, मैं खा लेता हूं. Even that is also equally sinful.
Actually, I've also heard, my mom used to tell me that if we give some money to a beggar or anybody, and if that person with your money is committing something which is sinful, so you are party to that karma also.
Yeah.
They say if he drinks and he, abuses his family or is doing anything wrong because of the money you have given, so that you become a party.
What if you give to a genuine beggar?
No, see, we.
Okay, let's take a scenario. Okay, one you have given to a beggar thinking that he will eat food, but finally goes and drinks liquor. But what if you give money to a beggar who actually goes and feeds his near and dear ones with bread because he has nothing to eat? What happens in that case? That activity is called punya. Still, it is from spiritual perspective not recommended. You know why? Because you get a karmic reaction.
Prabhuji, isn't that a Vaishnava injunction? Because even in the Puranas we have stories, even in the Itihasas like Ramayana, Lord Ram is told by Sita to hunt a deer, and the Kshatriyas used to eat meat. And there is also a story of Agastya when Vatapi serves him meat and wine. So isn't that a Vaishnava injunction that the people who are on the spiritual path should be following the no meat eating thing? Because people who are, say, ordained to fight, for instance, in the modern world, the army is supposed to fight. So wouldn't it be better for them?
To eat.
Yeah, to eat.
So you're right. Kshatriyas, they were a section of society. Kshatriyas who used to. Kshatriya. What is the meaning of Kshatriya? Shat means protect. Shat means harm. Triya means to protect. Protect people from somebody doing harm to them. So because they have to protect, it was allowed for them. How will they engage in killing? How will the army kill unless they practice? So Kshatriyas were allowed to do hunting, and in some scenarios to eat the flesh what they had had. But even in that scenario, it was the lower animals. Prabhupada also in one place says, okay, even if you want to eat flesh, avoid eating flesh of cows. You can maybe eat chicken or eat something. Because of different desires, we acquire different modes. Now, because of desires, ichha, we attract modes. If we have material desires, then we attract material modes. Acquire different modes and hence different types of mentality, different natures. These days, parents are invariably struggling. Children, वो मानते ही नहीं है, उनको पिज्जा खाना है, फास्ट फूड खाना है, सब गंदी चीजें खानी है उनको. हमें पता है कि वो अच्छा नहीं है उनकी हेल्थ के लिए, but they are, because why? Their nature is like that. Tamoguna is influencing acid. Their food choices are tamasic in nature. We are controlling the symptoms without addressing the root cause. If a person is predominantly influenced by tamoguna, he will by nature have a mentality, he will get attracted to tamasic ahar. I remember I have shared this earlier. I was staying with my uncle before joining when I was working outside. And that time I had started going to the temple and practicing this chanting Krishna consciousness, chanting Hare Krishna mantra and all that. And I could see I'm sure many of you would have seen, आप लोग पहले बहुत अच्छा लगता होगा बाहर जाके होटल में खाना, all kind of, now slowly thing has reduced, You may still have to go with your guests and all that, but dil se ichha has probably come down. So same thing happened with me. I was very fond of eating outside, jaake, that roadside, all those things. And I was very fond. My cousin, that sister, and she would always look forward, bhaiya aayenge vacation mein, and she will tag along with me, and both of us will go on a eating spree. And then bhaiya became Satvik. So bhaiya is going to the market, bhaiya is saying, नारियल का पानी पियोगे क्या? That she is making a face out of it. Okay, why is bhaiya saying, नारियल का पानी पियोगे? She is not interested in नारियल का पानी. And I will sit on the table and I would like to eat fruits. And because of her friend circle, she was studying in a school, she started liking eating non-veg. She would look forward for opportunities. If she would call, although family is not eating, but she would look forward for opportunities when she is called for some parties, she would like to eat non-veg. So I could see very confidently that how a person is getting attracted to a certain food. Satvik, if you are influenced with Sattva-guna, you will like fresh fruits, salads, Satvik ahar, not too spicy, not too oily, not too fried, not too sweet. You like, not bland, dharma jao. And when a person is Rajasic, he will like all this so-called food which is unhealthy.
I think, Swamiji, it is, I think over time, you are able to sense the energy in the food what you are eating.
Yeah.
Even if it may be tasty, but somehow, you don't feel good after eating that food.
Yeah. When you rise in the modes, you become more sensitive. कहा जाता है, अगर गटर में you throw a whole ink pot with all black ink, कोई फर्क पड़ेगा गटर में? सब गटर है, सब गंदा है. But if you have a white shirt, you throw one drop of ink, it will stand out. When your consciousness becomes pure, even small thing it pricks you. अगर आपने एक छोटी सी गलती कर दी, आपको थोड़ा लगता है कि मैंने नहीं करना चाहिए था. I shouldn't have done it. Why did I do it? There could be some habitual responses, but you feel guilty. But when that thing is not, आप gutter consciousness में हो, you're maha scale doing wrong things, but it is not, there's no guilt feeling. Do you think all the people who are in the butcher shop morning to evening cutting this thing, they're having guilt feeling? No. They're also human beings. No guilt feeling. Today, if somebody tells, run this business which involves non-veg, but it will be a lot of profit, I will not do. My consciousness won't permit. Let it be billions of dollars. I won't do it. I can't do it. But there are people who are willing to do it, want to do it, will do it. Because it doesn't prick them. So, 3 modes of material nature. Sattva guna, the symptom is knowledge, freedom from sin. And it is also contaminating because you get a sense of happiness, independent of Krishna. अगर कोई बहुत सात्विक बन जाता है ना, तो सात्विक आहार खाएगा, सात्विक हैबिट्स होंगी, थोड़ा नॉलेज होगा, everything is fine, absence of misery. But that also is one level of contamination. I am happy now. Rajoguna is unlimited desire, fruitive activity, results, I want to enjoy. And attraction between man and woman, intense desire, sexual drive, lusty desires becomes very prominent. Tamoguna, 4% of, I was reading statistics, 4% of websites in the world, millions of websites, 4% of the websites are adult content. Porn websites, 4% of websites. Millions of websites. How much?
60% are.
No, not websites, traffic. The traffic, 60% of the traffic, all the things which is being searched for, typed, looked for is adult content. And tamoguna is madness, laziness, sleep and intoxication. These are symptoms. बहुत sleep, बहुत ही laziness, madness, what is right, what is wrong, acting whimsically. All living beings in the material world are conditioned by these 3 modes. But this nature can be changed. जो हम लोग ने nature acquire किया है, वे predominantly in sattva-guna, rajoguna, tamoguna can be changed. How it can be changed? When one associates with a bona fide spiritual master and abide by his rules and his scriptures. That's why all scriptures talks about sadhu sangha, sat sangha. Only through sat sangha we can elevate. We can elevate from the influence of lower modes. Because through satsanga we'll get inspiration to eat the right things, to do the right things, see the right things, control our senses, control our mind, do activities which will enhance us spiritually. Now, before I speak about what does this slide indicate? Mumbai rains. Still it is continuing. So it is said that when the rain falls, it falls equally everywhere. Am I right? It falls on the soil which will immediately absorb water. It also falls on a rock which will completely, the water will slip off. It does not need water. So how much a person is able to absorb the water is not dependent on the source of water. It's dependent on the receptivity of the place where it falls. Am I right? Likewise, the mercy of the Lord, the opportunity for satsang, good association is available equally for everyone. Lord is kind for everyone. Lord has given Bhagavad Gita for everyone. But how much we will be able to absorb dependent on us. Somewhere that knowledge falls, somebody will absorb it like this. Somebody it will just slip off. So, for our misfortune, we cannot blame the Lord. Lord is very kind. He is giving opportunities. He wants to help us. How much we get helped is predominantly dependent on us. Lord is very kind. So the example is given that a mosquito may be sitting on the feet of, let's say, Prabhupada. He's very close to Prabhupada. He's very sitting attached to the feet of Prabhupada. But is he deriving the best association? Because that inherent desire to benefit from that association is lacking. Although in close proximity. So it does not depend on the dress you wear, where you stay, to derive the benefit of association. The only price you have to pay, can anyone tell me what's the only price you have to pay, which you have to cultivate to benefit from? Our scriptures point out it is laulyam. Laulyam means intense desire. Our scripture says if it is available somewhere, whatever price it is available, purchase it. Just like gold, it's very precious. If somebody is giving it, take it. Chanakya Pandit says, if gold is fallen in a dirty place, pick it up. Don't think the gold is dirty, pick it up. So if the desire for association, desire laulyam, if desire is there available somewhere, somebody is, take it up. Because that desire will take you places. Now, a question to all of you. Why do we have a lot of ads which have women depicted, and then, even so-called engine oils? Any guess, any suggestion? Attract? To? Catch the eye. Now a person is walking, he sees a big billboard. What is this? Cleaning anything. Some cleaning liquid. He may not have a desire for cleaning liquid, but still he'll look at the ad. Why? Huh?
Because of your desire.
Because there's a need to fulfill lusty desire. There's no need for this. Now this two is clubbed together. Because of that fulfillment of need of lusty desires, you will look at this. In the process, you will also look at this. That's why you see automobile industry, a woman is standing with her. What has woman to do with the car in that sense? Or the dress which that woman is wearing? It is too full. Because they know, and why will a person look? Unless he has a need, he will not look, no? So even spiritual association, we should cultivate the need, the desire, spiritual desire. Because if that need is not cultivated, अगर मिल भी रहा है, हम लोग लेंगे नहीं. So thing is, we have to cultivate that spiritual. For cultivating that spiritual desire, initially, because it is not natural for us to have that need, therefore the initial level of bhakti is called sadhana bhakti. Sadhana bhakti is full of rules, and अगर आपको अच्छा लगे या ना लगे, आपको अच्छी feeling आए या नहीं आए, still as a matter of duty, as a matter of obedience, you do it. Lot of people say हम लोग chanting करते हैं, लेकिन स्वामी जी कुछ मजा नहीं आता. Initially, don't go for maja. Initially go for, yes, it is authorized. Prabhupada is saying, Krishna is saying, Bhagavad Gita is saying, I will do it. इस दुनिया में मजा के लिए बहुत सारी चीजें हैं, मजा भी आता है, but it takes you down. Difference between material and spiritual happiness is initially there is no maja, but later on it is real maja. Material happiness is full of maja in the beginning, but it is cheating in the end. You get cheated. So now, when we hear Shunvata Swakatha Krishna Punya Shavana Kirtana Hridantasto Hiya Badrani Vidunoti Suhutsatam, when we hear from a pure person, self-realized soul about Krishna, Shunvata Swakatha Krishna, and what about this Krishna? Talks about Krishna, talks given by Krishna, Shunvata Swakatha Krishna. What happens? Punya Shravana Kirtana. And this Katha, this instructions of Krishna, instructions about Krishna, the nature of this instruction, it's Punya Shravana. It is full of auspiciousness. By hearing that, it ushers in auspiciousness in our lives. Vidunoti Srutsatam, and a person becomes pious, becomes cleansed. Shunvata Swakatha Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana. Hriday Antasthahi Abhadrani. All the dirty things which are there in the heart, envy, jealousy, desire to be enjoyed, desire to be the Lord, Vidunoti is destroyed. Now somebody may feel कि स्वामी जी मैं 2 महीने 2 साल से चैंटिंग कर रहा हूँ, 3 साल से चैंटिंग कर रहा हूँ, लेकिन अभी भी थोड़ा मजा नहीं आ रहा. This 2 years, 3 years compared to eternity of wrong things we have done is nothing. In fact, 2 years also, you would have noticed a lot of people saying, "तुम क्या बहुत बदल गए हो तुम? You've changed a lot. Earlier you were not like that." How many of us heard like that? Your relatives saying, "तुम बहुत बदल गए हो." So compared to years and years, lives and lives, many lifetimes we have gone in one way. In 1 year, 2 years, you see a lot of changes in a person. According to one's existence under the various modes of nature, one evolves a particular kind of faith. The living being is said to be of a particular faith according to the modes. So modes influence the faith also. And that's how we have different forms of worship, different religions. One is originally transcendental to originally the soul is not under the influence of modes in the spiritual world. It is free from this tamoguna, rajoguna, sattva-guna. It is situated in Shuddha Sattva, transcendence. But when it comes in contact with the material nature, it comes under the influence of modes of material nature and it develops faiths based on the influence of modes. Now, one has to become free from this contamination of modes. One has to become free. See, all of us have goals and aspirations in life. ये करना है, आगे बढ़ना है, पैसे कमाने हैं, नया घर बनाना है, बच्चों की शादी करना है, ये करना है, and all that. No doubt, when we are in this world, we have to do these duties, we have these responsibilities. But real aspiration, real progress is this. Freedom from contamination of modes, purification of desires, freedom from material existence. These are real. Otherwise, it's like a pendulum. Punarapi janma, punarapi mara. One life, we have family, we have duties, बच्चों को पढ़ाना है, बच्चों की शादी करना है, उनको स्कूल भेजना है, grandsons का वो करना है. Next life, again, new set of grandsons, grandparents, grandchildren, this thing. Next life again. So it's like a pendulum. You're doing the same thing again and again. So it's a horizontal movement. The real advancement is when you elevate in consciousness. So the path of Krishna consciousness, which Krishna is teaching us in the Bhagavad Gita, is a path of purification. Now, Prabhupada explains this Krishna consciousness or this path of principles of Gita are not an artificial imposition on the soul. It is not that by chanting we are imposing some consciousness. It is our natural consciousness, pure consciousness. It's a natural. So example is given, just like attraction between man and woman, it is not an artificial imposition. You don't have to teach a boy or a girl to get attracted to each other. When they attain adolescence, certain age, the attraction is awakened. Am I right? You don't have to teach, you have to get attracted. You have to get attracted like this. It is inbuilt. It is dormant. A certain age you achieve, the desires become dormant. So likewise, this attraction to the Lord is dormant in us. The desire to serve the Lord is dormant in us. But right now it is covered. Just like attraction to opposite sex is dormant. When a person is 2-year-old, 3-year-old, boy, girl, they have no attraction in that sense. It's dormant. But when they attain certain age, it becomes triggered. So likewise, this attraction to the Lord, desire to serve the Lord, hear about the Lord, eagerness to serve the Lord is dormant in us. Just that it is covered with all the dirty things. And hence, even though that desire is there, it is not awakened. But we remove the dirty, Shunvata, Sukatha, Krishna, Punya Shravana Kirtana, Hriday Antastohi Abhadrani, all this abhadras you remove, all the dirty things you remove, it comes out. That's why Prabhupada said, when he went to the West, they were very degraded people, all these drug addicts, hippies, no idea of Indian culture, not heard about Krishna. They started chanting Hare Krishna and all these things, Kirtan and all that. The desire to serve the Lord, desire to know about the Lord, hear about the Lord awakened. Just like at the right age, the desires, attraction gets triggered. Likewise, you attain certain level of purification, destruction of this abhadras, this becomes awakened. So it is not artificial. Krishna consciousness, desire to serve the Lord, chant the names of the Lord, hear about the Lord is not, you're not putting it from outside. It's there within us. But some people have no desire to hear about the Lord because it is very covered. उनका consciousness इतना covered हो गया है. Once you remove that covering, remove just like a mirror. When it's covered with dust, you cannot see. Thick layer of dust. 20 साल वो mirror को किसी ने clean नहीं किया. Thick layer of dust, you cannot see anything. You remove the dust, you can see it. So this process of Krishna consciousness is a process of purification. We are removing all the anarthas, all the unwanted things which has covered our consciousness, the lower modes, tamoguna, rajoguna, which has covered us. You remove all that and then your pure consciousness comes out. Narada Muni, in his previous life, was, anyone can know? Son of a maid servant. He was not a scholar, he was not a Pandit, he was not a Vedantist. He was son of a maid servant. And during Chaturmas, now the Chaturmas is the last month, Chaturmas, generally sages used to travel from one place to another. So they would camp in one particular place because it was a rainy season time, and invariably when they have to go through forest and it could be very muddy, it could be very the puddles of water and snakes and all that. So they would camp in one particular place during Chaturmas. So Narada Muni, one time when these sages were camping, his mother, being a maid servant, used to cook for them and serve them the meals. And while Narada Muni was there, when they were discussing about the Lord something, he would patiently sit and hear. And after the mother has served, the remnants of the food what these sages have eaten, he would take the remnants as prasad. And just by hearing these sages, although he would have limitation as being a child how much he could understand, and by taking the food which was partaken by exalted personalities, Mahaprasad, he became elevated. Next life he became Narada. So coming back to the question, the Lord is very merciful. People may be in very fallen conditions, but if they get the mercy of the Lord predominantly in three forms, one is through His holy names, one is through the sanctified food, prasad, and third is through knowledge, divya gyan. Even that person can be elevated. Now somebody predominantly can be elevated, he is illiterate, so may not be through knowledge. He does not have food to eat, may not be through knowledge. लोग बोलते भी हैं उसके जेब में अन्न नहीं है तो क्या सुनेगा वो भगवान के बारे में. Yes, it's a fact. For him, the predominant way for elevation is prasad. So we find different types of faith in the world, different religions, different forms of worship. That's why we see there is so much of different people worshipping different gods, having different religious beliefs, having different faiths, different forms of worship. It's all because of different kinds of modes influencing them, different kinds of abhadras, different kinds of material desires which they are desiring to fulfill through that worship. Any questions? Anything like to ask? Yes.
When one goes the path of futility, let's say late in life, and the next journey is not complete. Would he start from early age or how?
Question is, if a person takes up this path at a later age in life, post-retirement, 60 years, 55 years, so next life, will he start this process early in life or later in life? So Arjuna asked this question to Krishna, what happens to a person who treads this path but does not complete the journey? जो हम बहुत लोगों के साथ होने वाला है. Huh? So what does Krishna say? He says he will take birth in family of devotees or rich aristocracy, where he will continue from where he has loved, and he will naturally get attracted to religious principles. You see, it's a proof here. You see, we would have touched not less than 5,000, 10,000 people. But why handful of people have got attracted and they feel inspired to come week after week? Somewhere we have left our journey in last life. Somewhere, possible. Some people among us are chanting 16 rounds, some people are chanting 8 rounds, some are chanting 2 rounds, some are chanting 1 round, based on where we have left our journey in a previous life. That's how we see there's so much of disparity. So, and every one of us will find ourselves in fortunate or unfortunate circumstances based on the choices we have made in this life. Prabhupada gave his own example. Right from his very birth, he was born in a family of Vaishnavas. His father was encouraging him to do Rath Yatra. They was offering food in the house. They were having prasadam. Just by imitating his father, doing some activities, holding Rath Yatra, like a childhood game, they were all getting elevated. So that's why they said there is no loss or diminution. Even if we don't complete this journey, whatever we are gaining is our permanent credit. So we have to gain as much as we can. Don't blame circumstances. Don't say, "Meri paristhiti achhi nahi hai." Whatever your paristhiti, do the best you can in that paristhiti. Lord is watching. I was telling somebody the other day, if a person is having a salary of 100 rupees and he gives 10 rupees to the Lord, and another person earning 1,000 rupees and he gives 20 rupees to the Lord. I repeat, a person is earning 100 rupees and gives 10 rupees to the Lord. Another person earning 1,000 rupees and gives 50 rupees to the Lord. Which contribution or sacrifice, who is dearer to the Lord? The person who gave 10 rupees. Because the Lord is Bhavagrahi Jana. He is saying how much you are sacrificing. Everything belongs to Him. The money what you think is yours is also His. He has given you. The intelligence with which you are earning that money is also given by Him. So, in that sense, suppose somebody is chanting 2 rounds, but उसकी परिस्थिति बहुत ही खराब है घर में, बहुत ही खराब है. Maybe the 2 rounds for the Lord is more dearer, that sacrifice is more dearer to a person who is chanting 16 rounds. For Lord, it's not absolute number. The Lord is saying, how much are you willing to sacrifice, surrender for His pleasure? Lord is not giving के सब लोग 50 रुपए दो मुझे. आप दो. Sacrifice. So, in that sense, do not compare, I cannot do this, I cannot. Do the best you can in the circumstances you are, and Lord will change the circumstances. But show to the Lord that you are eager. Don't wait for ideal circumstances to come so that you will be able to do the best you can, but it should be the best. ये नहीं circumstances allows you to do X, no, हम तो 0.1 X करेंगे, because स्वामी जी ने बोला था, God does not see X or 0.1. Do the best you can.
All these beliefs, like which have been reiterated, reincarnation and all of that, lead to a sort of fatalism, which is why India, even if you go to pilgrimage places, they are very filthy. Now you take the example of America. I was listening to Melinda Gates. Warren Buffett has donated half of his wealth to Bill Gates Foundation. And Prabhupada ji also went to America. So the spiritual goal left aside, what Lord Krishna has said, all of us are existing in this material world. Wouldn't it be better if we improve the material situation of India? Then people will automatically get attracted to their spiritualism. Because as it is, wherever we go to our pilgrimage places, they are not kept very well. You go to a Buddhist place, it gives a peaceful spiritual vibe. They are usually cleaner. So, shouldn't we keep spiritual goal should be the highest? That I'm not disputing. Shouldn't we improve our material situation?
So, material prosperity, material well-being automatically follows when you have the right spiritual understanding. Unfortunately, so-called religiosity, the so-called pandas, the so-called spiritual people, they're all half-baked. If typically you visit our temple, it is known for cleanliness. You will not find a speck of, you will not find a, piece of paper lying here and there. Because cleanliness is next to godliness. Temples have to be clean. But today we see, unfortunately, all the so-called religious places very filthy, very dirty, because so-called caste brahmanas, claiming to be brahmanas because they are born in family of brahmanas, but doing all kinds of nonsense things. It's unfortunate. It's Kali Yuga. And material well-being automatically follows spiritual well-being. When a person is spiritually this thing, he will be simplicity, cleanliness, truthfulness, austerity, is automatic qualities which will emanate. Even so-called religious people who are supposed to be in Sattva-guna actually are in Tama-guna. So-called spiritual people. So-called spiritual people claiming to be spiritual even, but actually they are tamasic in their character and behavior.
little bit
Contradictory. A person can be, this question is, you're saying that a person who is poverty stricken will be unclean?
I'm not saying he will be unclean. I'm saying he's more bothered about his own.
What is prosperity? Prosperity, I'll tell you. Again, it's a subjective thing. What is prosperity? What is richness? What is auspiciousness? What is favor of the Lord? According to scriptural understanding, the right understanding, a real richness is spiritual richness. What is the use of that kind of material prosperity which makes you forget the Lord? So main prosperity is, are you having the Lord with you? Actually, all the anomalies what we see, Prabhupada's Guru Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, there is no shortage in this world. The only shortage is of genuine Krishna consciousness or God consciousness. If you see Ati Vrishti and Anavrishti, too much of rain, less rain, floods, famine, wars, pestilence, tsunamis, earthquakes, it's all because of our misgivings, our wrongdoings. Lord has not created this world where He expects us to suffer, suffer, suffer and suffer. No. Even in this material world, if we abide by the Lord, and we can have a relatively peaceful material existence. Krishna says in the Gita, if you do sacrifices, there will be profuse rainfall. And when there is rainfall, there will be sufficient supply of food grains. And prosperity will reign. In earlier time, Vedic times, there was prosperity. There were natural resources which were replete. But the more we become sinful, the nature will withdraw. In fact, Kali Yuga had said a time will come, even if you have money, grains will not be available for you to purchase. You see now these fruits these days, the large section of people cannot afford fruits. Apple 200 rupees kg, some fruits 300 rupees kg. A person who is earning 10,000 rupees, how will he afford? 15,000 rupees, how will he afford? Sometimes when you have to buy fruits, just buy 3 kgs, 4 kgs, you have to pay 1,000 rupees. So nature is restricting its supply when we become more and more peaceful. We think that prosperity comes because of hard work, because of economic policy. Real prosperity comes when we have the blessings of the Lord. The more we are sinful, the more the nature retaliates. Nature retaliates in terms of famine, earthquakes, droughts, all this. So these are higher laws, we should respect it. It's a fact. The sages who have understood the Lord, the mind of the Lord, why the world is created, why there is misery in this world, they are telling us that what is the root cause of misery. There is no shortage in this world because of shortage of food grain, because of overpopulation. People think so. They say that if the meat consumption in the world is reduced by mere 10%, can you just hear the statistics very carefully? If the total meat consumption in this world is reduced by 10%, the current food production in the world can feed the world's projected population for 2050. I repeat, please hear carefully. We see a lot of people dying of malnutrition, starvation, not having enough food grains. If 10% of the meat consumption in this world is reduced, the current food production in the world can produce food good enough to feed the world's projected population for 2050. And it is not some hypothetical assumption. You can do the calculation. This food grains which is used to feed the livestock, which gets converted into meat, which gets further consumed by human being, vis-a-vis that food grains consumed directly by the meat, how many it can feed, you can do that calculation. So in other words, the shortage in this world is man-made. Because we are in ignorance, we have tamasic choices, we eat flesh, we are inclined to eating non-veg, we make that kind of a choices, and we invite all this kind of shortcomings. So real prosperity is, real thing is when we become God conscious, when we abide by the scriptures, when we lead a regulated life, a disciplined life.